good. That's perfect.
It's time for the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan, one of the top real estate agents not only on the Grand Strand, but in the world. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, the Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Blake Sloan Real Estate Show. Brand new show. Tons of information. If you're a brand new listener, brand new to the show, we have one goal. That's just to provide value, give you some great, cool real estate information here on the Grand Strand, keep you updated. The only thing we ask for, hey, if you hear anything you like, just share us and our information. Anyone you come across that may be thinking about buying or selling, and make sure you get great service. But tons of great stuff today we'll talk about. The big news this week we'll talk about is interest rates. Huge news with that. So a big jump past couple weeks here, hit our highest numbers in 3 years. And we're seeing that kind of start to have an effect on buyers, payments going up, debt to income ratio, not being able to afford what they were doing. And so we'll talk about what that means for home sellers going forward, and also for anyone thinking about buying or refinancing. Some craziness going on in the real estate market. We'll talk about this week the micro market numbers, which is like what happened in each zip code. Some areas saw 20% decline last month. So we'll talk about what's happening there. Even kind of Myrtle Beach, I think, was down 23%. We'll talk about what that means and kind of what to see overall. And you're starting to hear some whispers here and there. People think, hey, is it going to crash? Or things going to potentially crash again? And I'll talk about some of the data and what says, hey, look, it might not. Also, some things that say it maybe could. So we'll talk about what's going on there as well in terms of that. Also, some amazing success stories. Our team's absolutely crushing it as well. But it's still super hot market and a lot to navigate. One example we had this past week we'll share where a person really had an issue with getting some repairs done. It was really a repair that the buyer asked for $60,000. We were able to go in and get accurate numbers and really show them, hey, look, it's only between $5,000 and $6,000, and able to potentially, save a seller $55,000 by doing it the right way. And so those are some of the things you run into overall, just kind of experiencing what's happening in this market. And you want to make sure you have someone who is very versed and very understanding what's happening right now. Also, if we have a little bit of time at the end, we'll talk about into the spring market, why it's a golden opportunity for home sellers, and really kind of the 5 things that are lining up to make that a great thing overall. And also, we'll just kind of talk about some things that we're seeing and kind of what some national data is to help you make good decisions here in the spring market into the summer.
All right, a lot of stuff to get to. If you're just tuning in for the very first time and you're not sure who you're listening to or what you're listening to, it's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show, hosted by Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan has been called the Real Estate Whiz Kid. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal, Realtor magazine, and other national publications. You maybe seen him on TV with NBC and also with Fox and Brett, the morning show. You've heard the personal endorsements here by Sean Hannity, also Barbara Corcoran, Gary LaVox. Put them all together, it's just totally unprecedented. Now, that's one thing, but the other thing is that Blake has trademark systems for both home sellers and home buyers. They are trademarked, so we can't give you all the details, but more than happy every week to tell you the most important part of that system.
Yes, and that's a big commitment that I made. I think we've been doing this show almost 12 years now, and seen all kind of crazy stuff in this market, seen it go down, seen it go up, back up again. And we've talked about this. I just noticed this doing this for so long on my 18th year of real estate that there's just so many horror stories over and over and over. And that's scary because it's for most people, it's their largest asset or one of the largest assets that they own. And so here's the deal. I made a promise to talk about this every show because no matter how many times I say it, no matter how many people hear it, they still go back and make that mistake for some reason. So the deal is the single most important variable that determines your failure or success as a home seller comes down to one thing only. That thing is the agent you choose, period. I'll talk about that every show because it's that important, because people make so many mistakes thinking that agents are all the same, right? Just like a commodity of some type, but it's not. And I can see how it is because a lot of the agents are the same, but ultimately it comes down to it, they're not. And the reality is when you're selling a property, there's 118 different variables from A to Z. If each one's handled correctly, guess what? It puts money in your pocket, property gets sold. If anything's handled incorrectly, aka they drop the ball at any point, and that could be anything from the quality of their photos, the order of their photos, right? Does the agent answer the telephone when a buyer calls up for a sale sign? Do they respond to web leads online? If they do respond to them online, how long does that take to get back? Are they knowledgeable about the property? All these things happen. That's just on the very beginning that make or break the home sale. And so You want to have someone who's experienced, who can really manage those, and more importantly, has a system that's proven and in place to do so. And that's what I designed. That we'll talk about here in a second. But what most agents do is the 3 Ps. Number one, they promise you the world to get the listing, meaning they tell you anything and everything that they think you want to hear to get that listing. Why is that? Because they're trying to survive. The average agent in our marketplace sells 4.3 homes per year, which is not very much, right? That barely pays rent, much less a lot of money for advertising or things that you need to help get exposure. But they're most of them just trying to survive in that standpoint. So number two, what they do, the second P, is they put it to MLS, right? They take some pictures on their cell phone or whatever it is, put it to MLS. And then three, they pray that someone else brings a buyer. Meanwhile, they're down the street trying to get the next listing because they're trying to survive. And unfortunately, that's how it's worked for years and years and years. I grew up in the business. I've seen it my entire life. And I said, look, there's got to be a better way that we can get better results for our clients and get it in a proven, repeatable way. And so I set out to do that. We designed this system called the Guaranteed Sold System, the only proven system to get a home sold twice as fast and for up to 20% more money than traditional methods. And it works very, very, very well versus a lot of agents are just trying to do everything. And so it's very, very hard to execute on all those if you have one or two people on the team. So what we have is a huge team, 30 plus people, a team of specialists who each specialize in what they do so they can micromanage that part of the deal to make sure that they manage those variables for you and they're managed proactively. And so on top of that, the business model gives us a huge amount of exposure in terms of marketing dollars. You probably see and hear us everywhere from TV to radio to billboards, a lot of stuff you also see online. We spend massive amounts of money online generating buyers from across the country and even outside the country that allow us to bring more buyers and put more buyers in front of your property to help them sell for more money. And so it goes back to any doctor, any lawyer, right? If you're charged with a crime you did not commit, the last thing you want is a part-time attorney who's a friend of yours who just, started practicing law. You want the absolute best, most aggressive, most knowledgeable attorney in that type of law that you can possibly get. Why? Because you want the best outcome. Why would you not demand that same level of excellence for your largest asset versus going to some agent who may or may not know what they're doing or have the experience that can get you the most amount of money for your home? The same thing you're talking about open heart surgery, right? All these things are very, very important, just as your largest asset. So if you want to know more about how that works, save my information, reach out, call us 843-808-SOLD. Also, on the buying side, guess what? There's 100 plus variables when you buy a property. If each one handled correctly, saves you money and you get the property you want. But if that agent drops the ball at any point, right, it's going to cost you money or you're not going to get the home you want. And the point here is there's a lot of things that can go wrong. You want somebody and a team who can manage those for you. We designed this thing called the Unfair Advantage Home Buying System. Get your property access to the best deals, foreclosures, distressed sales, desperate sellers, the absolute best really properties from all real estate companies, and get you the best possible price and terms and get you that closing table successfully. And so the one thing I want you to take from the show is the agent you choose matters. And we'll talk about that here on the rest of the show after this quick break.
Market, Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. So what do home sellers, what do they need to know about the market right now? Home sellers need to know the market here on the Grand Strand, absolutely on fire. We're seeing record numbers in terms of prices that sellers are getting. It's almost unbelievable. We're seeing hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars coming in the Northeast. They're just coming bidding up properties and getting sellers more money than they ever thought possible. Got it. Now, how will that get them more money? That's going to help get home sellers more money because there's more buyers here than we've ever seen before. But we're not sure how long that's going to last. We are seeing that start to level off a little bit. Some of that interest has started to slow down. So sellers definitely need to take advantage of the super hot market right now before there's any type of shift. All right, as always, thanks for the insight. Call Blake Sloan today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or online at blakesloan.com. That's blakesloan.com.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corbin. I'm excited to connect with Blake Sloan, the only real estate agent in Myrtle Beach that I recommend. You offer several options to home sellers, but it really takes away the stress.
That's right. Sellers in a time crunch, you can agree to sell it by a certain date, take cash for your home, or even rent it.
That's great. And if the seller has a bit more time?
Use our proven marketing plan and sell it for the highest price.
Work with my friend Blake Sloan and get your home sold on your terms.
Welcome back to Blake Sloan Real Estate Show. Got the brand new market numbers in. This is what everybody cares about the most, right? What's my house worth? What's my property worth? What's happening to it? Is it getting going up, going down. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about today the overall micro market numbers. This is the one I get the most feedback on, the most questions about. It's like, hey, look, what's my area doing? What's my neighborhood doing? Because if you look at the Grand Strand as a whole, right, performance one way. If you break it down, though, per zip code, per neighborhood, you want to always make sure you have the micro market data when you're making decisions, because it is a lot different based on the area of the Grand Strand you're on. Sometimes you can push that number higher. Sometimes it may be not quite as high, or you may start to see a decline. You want to make sure that your strategy is designed around what's happening with the micro market data. That's what we do every single time. We really customize the plan for our clients. But right now, for the overall macro market, a quick refresher for anyone that missed last week's show: single family homes in the Grand Strand, pretty much flat in terms of sales. 477 sales last month, which is a 0.2% increase from the same month last year. And so, for example, if you go back to February 2021, there's 476. February this year, 477. So pretty much flat overall. The good news and the big news really is pricing. Pricing for single family homes up 19.3% for median price, which is great. It's a new record there. 340,000 even, which is awesome. Average sale price also up, not quite as much as the median, but average sale price up 11.9% right now, with the average price being $410,525. The big thing that everybody's been talking about too has been inventory, right? We're in an inventory crisis. It's what we call a super seller's market, meaning that you have a huge advantage. This morning with my team, I shared, as we do every morning, how many active properties are on the market in Horry County that are resale homes. This morning is 355. Yesterday was in the 320s. And so overall, that's not very many homes. You look at how many people are trying to move here and how many hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars people are looking to buy and spend here. And so that's a big story. It's really protecting price. And I think what's helping us, any potential downturns in terms of price right now, because inventory is just so low right now. It's down 37.5% from the same time last year at 1.0 months of inventory. So that's good news there. Overall, really quick for condo sales last month up 5.0% with 567 condos sold last month, which is great news. Also, guess what? Prices huge in condos right now. Big time jumps, really, because we saw everyone a couple years ago in 2020, early 2021, bought really all the inventory in homes, and all of a sudden they moved to condos because they were more affordable. People could still afford those. We saw a lot of buyers who were priced out of the market on the single family home side, then transition to condos. And now you're seeing that really dry up and prices go through the roof right now as well. Average sale price for condos last month up 32.1% from the same month last year. So right now, last month for a condo, the overall average price was $236,786 versus last year, the same exact time in February, it was $179,285. So from $179,285 all the way up to $236,786, which is awesome news for anyone that's looking for the equity to go up. In terms of median price, also up big numbers, up 33.2%, $200,000 and $200,500, which is awesome. And supply there also down 82.1% right now at 0.5 months inventory, super low, a new record low. And that's something we're seeing a lot too, where lots and lots of buyers, not very many listings, and you're seeing that across the country right now overall. One thing we'll just kind of dig into is look at what's going on in the micro market. So bear with me with this. It's kind of the worst thing for radio, where you got to fly through it, but really everyone really wants to know, what's my area doing, my neighborhood doing, because it's all over the place. And it's like, for example, right now in Myrtle Beach, which is 29577, 29572, the overall closed sales last month down 23.3%. So I usually find just doing this for a long time, is that Myrtle Beach in the middle, right? The 29577, 29572, the city tends to really kind of dominate and lead in what's happening with the overall area. So they'll kind of be the first one to go up, then everyone else goes up. They'll be the first one to go down. Everyone else tends to kind of follow that later on. A lot of this also has to do with the amount of inventory and affordability. And so closed sales last month, only 69 versus 90 last year. Prices, median price last month up 5.9% at 398,000, which is really good in terms of that. Inventory in Myrtle Beach down 48% overall. Condo sales last month in Myrtle Beach, the same area, up 3.9%. For new listings, closed sales up 9.7%. Check this out though. Condos in Myrtle Beach and townhouses, prices last month up 31.7%. So from 140 all the way to 185. So great news there overall for condos in the Myrtle Beach area. Surfside Beach, where I grew up a lot, overall closed sales up 7.8% last month, which is good. Check this out. Median price though up 37% in Surfside, 29575. So if I'm helping advise a client there, I'm looking at that micro market data and saying, look, we can be a little more aggressive in pricing here because really the most recent data is showing a huge jump. And what you'll notice, a lot of agents will just look at the overall macro market. So they'll go in and say, hey, look, our market was up, only whatever, 2.2% last month, versus looking here at the micro market data and saying, hey, look, sales are up 7.8, but median price is up 37%. Let's be super aggressive in our price strategy. That's how you put more money in your pocket as a home seller, by having that data and making good decisions there. Inventory down 25.5% in Surfside, which is obviously helping drive that price up. Overall, condos and townhouses in Surfside, sales up 12.9% last month. Median sales price up 34.3%. So like I mentioned, condos are on fire right now, pricing up to $154,900. North Myrtle Beach area closed sales last month, huge numbers here, up 45.2%. Overall, I do find that the Surfside Garden City market is very similar to North Myrtle Beach in terms of that. Overall, you'll see there median price up 5.9%. It's kind of seeing a really kind of a ceiling there at 474,900. Overall, same thing there. Inventory down 42%. Amount of homes for sale in North Myrtle Beach. Condos in that area, sales up 16.8% last month. Check this out. Median price, one of the biggest gains right here in the North Myrtle Beach area, up 59.3% for condos and townhouses. So last year in February, the overall median price was 182,000. Right now it's 290,000. So 100,000 plus increase in equity right there. Overall inventory down 72.2%. One thing we've noticed a lot, we've seen a lot of buyers coming in from out of town looking to do Airbnbs. We've seen tons and tons of investors right now trying to find stuff and place money in our area to do Airbnbs and short-term rentals. And so you're seeing that really perform very, very well on a lot of those properties that they can do that, especially on the south end, north end. It's Little River, right? Sales last month down 5.8%. The good news is median price is up 37.1% at $371,095. So $371,095, which is awesome. Inventory down 52.8% in terms of amount of homes for sale. Not very many condo sales there, but it is up in that aspect. Loris and Longs closed sales up 65.3%. Median price up 18.9%. Right now, median price in Loris and Longs is $267,600. We just closed a couple this week out there for record prices in terms of even properties with not that much acreage, over 300,000, which is great news for homeowners out there, as you're seeing more buyers are moving more inland where the inventory is, and actually a little more space between lots, which has been great news overall in that aspect. Into Conway sales down last month, down 14.9%, which is interesting. Median price up 20.8%, which is great news, from 214 last year up to 259 this year, which is awesome news there. Same thing with inventory, you're seeing across the board down drastically, 51.3% decrease in the amount of homes for sale in Conway. In the Socastee area, sales are identical last month to the same month last year. So a 0.0 increase or decline, which is awesome. For example, there were 71 homes closed in February this year, 71 homes closed in February of last year. But the good news is prices are up. Median price up 21.7% just last month alone at $292,000, which is awesome news. Inventory, the amount of homes for sale down 52.9% in that area as well. Garden City, Murrells Inlet, sales up 20.3%, which is great news. Median sales price also up 30.0% right now, $409,225, which is awesome news. And inventory down 51.0%. Great news there. Into Pawleys and Litchfield, closed sales down significantly. Sales down 38% last month from the same month last year. The good news though, prices are still up 25.6% at $480,000, and inventory down 66.7%. So for example, last year in this time, that was when inventory is already low. There's 159 homes for sale. Right now, only 53. And so that's crazy news there. But great news for homeowners right now, because you're seeing prices go up. Georgetown also on fire. And I think that's because there's just a little more affordability there. We've seen a lot of buyers who were searching for Myrtle Beach are now searching into Georgetown, even further south, because they can find affordable homes there as well. Closed sales up 52.6%. Median price up 12.9%. Inventory down 34.7% as well. And so you see that the reason I share those because you're seeing some 23% increase, some you're seeing 20+% decrease. So it's very, very important when you're making decisions on what the micro market data is. If you want to know more about that, reach out to us. We can do a neighborhood report for you. We can send that to you, keep you updated on it. But definitely matters how you pick strategy based on what's happening with that. And one thing that is kind of the big wild card right now is interest rates. Interest rates, huge news this past week, up significantly. Last week's show, a 30-year fixed rate was 4.28%, right? So the week before that, it was 4.09. And just a few weeks back, we were in the 3.5s. Right now, crazy numbers for a 30-year fix is 4.50%. We've seen some clients quoted over 5% right now just this past week. And so a new 3-year high, obviously we kind of see a lot of what's happened with that. Some big news from the Fed this week. We'll probably talk about that on next week's show in terms of how that affects mortgage rates. And it is a lagging indicator. It does affect mortgage rates. You're going to probably see those climb up as the Fed has indicated they're continuing to raise rates on their end, obviously to help, against inflation. So 15-year fixed rate, 3.88%. Right now, a 30-year FHA loan, 4.0%. 30-year jumbo loan, 3.95%. And a 5-year adjustable rate mortgage right now, 3.82%. And so one thing that's important to understand, as a home seller, what does this mean? It means that as rates go up, less buyers can afford to buy your home. Two ways. Number one, a debt to income ratio. So if that payment goes up $200, $300, $400 a month, they can no longer afford to buy your house, or they no longer can qualify to buy your house based on their debt to income, because the amount of debt they have, the monthly payment does not allow them to do so. And also, in many cases, they just can no longer feel comfortable having that payment for that amount of money. And so it does hurt home sellers. It's kind of up in the air right now of how much it does affect in the short term. I have seen some softening in other areas across the country, but there is still a huge inventory shortage. We've covered this on previous shows, really how there's just a whole decade that not enough homes were not built to help keep up with that. But we're going to watch that and see. If I'm a home seller, though, I'm starting to say, hey, look, we're starting to see a little bit of softening. Rates are getting up to where it could be a little bit painful sometimes. I definitely want to make sure if I have some investment properties, I'm thinking about taking some chips off the table, now would be a very, very, very good time to do so. You are seeing some whispers again of, hey, are we going to start to see this wind switch? And obviously, there's a lot of chaos out there just across the board in terms of the economy and everything else going on. If you want to know more about what to do, how to make good decisions with real estate, reach out, call me, 843-808-SOLD. Take a quick break, right back here in a second.
Wondering how to capitalize on the best home site marketing ever experienced in decades? Hey, it's Blake Sloan at my company, the Sloan Realty Group. We want you to feel success in
How are we doing on time?
You've likely made our friends recommend us.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran.
Hey, it's Sean Hannity here. There's only one real estate agent I trust if I needed to sell my home. I'm talking about Blake Sloan.
We talk about 6 minutes.
He has an amazing team working for him. He doesn't miss a single detail. Real estate mogul and Shark Tank star Barbara Corcoran only recommends Blake Sloan.
Perfect.
And if I needed to sell my home in Myrtle Beach, well, I would call Blake. Hi, I'm Blake Travis. I'm Buck Sexton. Investors in real estate, Buck and I both know exactly what to look for to find the agent with the best tools and marketing to get the highest sales price possible for a home. Totally true, Clay. And here in Myrtle Beach, that agent is our friend Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. Get in touch with us now at 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or BlakeSloan.com. That's BlakeSloan.com.
Welcome back to the Blake Sloan Real Estate Show. We have a hot buyer alert. Been doing this every week for a long time now, but my team and I are working with a ridiculous amount of home buyers who are looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach, Grand Street area from $200,000 up to $3.6 million. If you're thinking about selling, please contact us immediately, 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD. One of the things that I'm most proud of, I think, that we do on the show is we're just real and raw. We share, hey, look, here's the actual amount of buyers that we have. We call it, on our team, proof versus promises. A lot of agents will just promise you to do these things and do this type marketing and that type marketing. With us, a lot of times it speaks for itself. We spend tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars every single month driving traffic online, and we capture buyers from across the globe. Really, we go out to the Northeast. We target them really strategically, but we get buyers from all over who are looking to buy because we outspend the average agent 100 to 1 from a marketing standpoint. And so right now, real count, active buyers that we have on our website that have a username, password, account, 67,073 active home buyers. Again, that's 67,073 active home buyers from all over the globe. Really, we got Vilma. She's right here in Myrtle Beach. I got John Foster from Conway. I got Adrian from Whiteville. I got Brad from Philadelphia, PA. I got Peter from Bartsville, Oklahoma. I got Steve from New Jersey. Let's see what else we got here. I got Churchton, Maryland, Tucson, Arizona, Lumberton, North Carolina, Lincolnton, North Carolina, Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, Chicago, Illinois. So we get buyers from all over looking to spend really millions and millions of dollars here. And so the difference with us is we have buyers in waiting. They're waiting with our system. We have technology that matches up your property to our buyers so we can have that done immediately and do that the right way versus a lot of agents just waiting until they put a sign on the yard and hope someone else, comes in and sells it. Our system and our business model gives us a huge advantage because we can outspend the average agent 100 to 1, which in turn drives more traffic for you, aka gets more eyeballs on your property, and it actually has someone who can sell it and get that price up for you. We'll talk about that next week, really how that works. We had the car show this week. You've seen a lot of classic cars. We'll talk about the example we talked about before, how we can get you maximum dollar for your property. So anyone thinking about selling, if you got any value from today or any of the previous shows, just do me a favor. Anyone you talk to says anything about real estate, say, look, you got to call my buddy Blake. We want them to be our next success story. With us, a couple great success stories this week. Mariah, she owned a home in Loris, recently decided she wanted to move back to West Virginia to be close to her family. She's in the middle of remodeling her home, though, but things came up and she no longer wanted to finish that remodel and didn't want to have to deal with it. She wanted to sell her home as is, meaning she wouldn't change or fix anything, but she was worried that anyone would see it, wouldn't want to buy it, or they would just want to give her a low ball offer. Thankfully, Mariah was referred to us by an amazing radio listener. We came in, we shared with her exactly how we can get top dollar for the property. She doesn't have to finish it, and we can get it sold for a lot more money than she thought she could for. We came in, launched our global marketing blitz, professional photos, the virtual reality walkthrough. Check this out. Drove massive traffic. Within 4 to 8 hours, we had her 6 offers, and she chose an offer that was $40,000 above asking price, which is huge news. And also, Sherry recently decided it's time for her family to make an upgrade. She obviously owned a home in Myrtle Beach and looking to purchase a larger home. She had known about Sloan Group for a while and heard many good things about the company from friends and family. Thankfully, Sherry gave us a call. We met with her, went over exactly how we can get her more money for her property than she ever thought, especially with our hot market process that I designed. And what we do there, we launch in a certain day a week, the certain plan, a certain process, and it creates kind of a frenzy or like auction-like effect for it, drives multiple people in and gets property price driven up. So launched our global marketing blitz, professional photos, virtual reality walkthrough. Within 2 days, drove massive traffic. Check this out. We had 19 offers on her property through our system and helped her obviously get a huge price, way over asking price. And she can move on to her larger house knowing she did not leave any money on the table. So here's the deal. Don't make a mistake. Make sure you have someone who has a system figured out that can get you most amount of money and drive these prices up versus most agents are just going to put a sign in the yard, take their first offer. And in these 2 cases could have cost them $40,000 or more. So anyone thinking about selling, have them call us, reach out to us, 843-808-SOLD or blakesloan.com anytime. We'll see you back here next week.
When I'm moving on,